West Ham versus Manchester United match preview. Because the game of football is taking place on a Saturday, it's the early Kickstarter of the Premier League match day 18 down at the London Stadium that capacitated 500 fans. But I've gone ahead to read on its history. It can capacitate 80,000, but they are only allowed to really allow in 62,500 people. That means the stadium is going to be buzzing, and Manchester United, our fans, need to do all the best they have to do to see to it that everything really goes on as to plan. If at all it doesn't, then a lot might not go our way as a club of Manchester United. Welcome to this channel. This is the United Matters channel. Rokan David is my name. West Ham, in their previous game they played in the Premier League, they beat Wolverhampton Wanderers by 3-0. Mohamed Kudus was one of those players that was really on target, and I think Mohamed Kudus scored a brace and Gerard Bowen scored one. Then 3 assists all came in through from one player known as Lucas Paqueta, and they are really 1 point behind Man United, meaning that if at all they beat us on Saturday, they're obviously going to find themselves in a situation of really getting us or surpassing us, and they'll be the ones really ahead of Man United, something that we, the fans of Man United, don't want to obviously see. Our previous game, we drew away at Liverpool 0-0, meaning that that vibe should obviously be taken to Anfield to see to it that Man United really takes the mantle to obviously go ahead and really get this club out of the way, and we scoop 3 points off West Ham. We are 7th, 28 points in there for you, and if at all you win, we will go to 31 points and we will surpass the side of Newcastle. So that is it. And when you look at West Ham, they played a game in the midweek and their manager went ahead to rest very many players, but as it stands, he went ahead to rest very many players, and after resting those players, a lot has gone ahead to come up after they went ahead to concede 5-0 again, 5-1 against Liverpool. It was really very toxic for them, and fans of West Ham were really very furious at the manager of West Ham, that is none other than David Moyes, because they found themselves in a situation of really resting players for no reason, because there is a break coming in through and they feel like this trophy was there for them to win, because Chelsea, Middlesbrough and Fulham were the only 3 teams left, and the fans of West Ham felt like David Moyes would have gone ahead to challenge for this title, having won one last season in the Conference League. Then they believed that the manager would have gone ahead to go on and redo that. But that wasn't the plan of the manager. He showed them that he was really ready to play for the game, for 3 points against Manchester United over the weekend. And the last time we went ahead to play the London Stadium, went ahead to lose by 1-0. That was last season. You remember that big hole that was made by David De Gea that resulted into us really losing our games of football. So that was really a very bad loss for the club of Manchester United, and fans of Man United really came out and really said this is unacceptable. And that's what the fans of Man United really went ahead to obviously talk about, and they really went ahead to select David De Gea. I remember that day, and they are really telling him, how would you dare let in a ball like that to go through you? And it counted. So it's going to call upon for a very huge performance. But when you look at West Ham, they've gone ahead to bring in very many players. And against Liverpool, although they played in the midweek, they went ahead to obviously rest the following players: Lucas Paqueta, James Ward-Prowse, Kat Zuma, Augard, Emerson Palmieri, and Lucas Fabianski. On counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 players were rested and they never took part into that game. But again, for United, the entire squad rested because we had no midweek activity. And who are injured for West Ham? Mikel Antonio is injured and he's the only player out. Augard and Max Cornet return. For Man United, the following players are really out for now, and we don't know whether the manager will come out and really tell us exactly what will happen in there. Maybe Lindelof and Anton Martial might really show up, in the training session. That is tomorrow, and maybe the manager will get us some good news about that. But on the time of recording, Terrell Malacia, Harry Maguire, Casemiro, Lisandro Martinez, Mason Mount, Jordan Sancho, Amad Diallo, Victor Lindelof, and Anton Martial. 9 injured players, are really out. Sorry, Amad Diallo is out. Amad Diallo is back. He has taken part into the first team training today, and the session has been really immense. But for Christian Eriksen, he's back, and he's going to be part of the traveling squad to West Ham. But Diego Dalot is out. He got a red card against Liverpool. He's going to miss out only one game, and he'll return when you're playing against Aston Villa at Old Trafford. I think it's going to be a Tuesday, 26th, Tuesday next week. Then Bruno Fernandes is back. Remember, he missed out on the tie against Liverpool, and he's really ready to come and really captain the side to see to it that we really win that game of football. So those are the players that are out, and the ones I'm going to hit return. But I anticipate Lindelof and Anton Martial might obviously make it to the training ground this Friday before they obviously go to London to prepare for the game of West Ham. And we expect United to take a very high intensive game, and we've already gone ahead to come up with our predicted starting 11. And I don't know whether you guys are going to side with me this time round, but I've just gone ahead to make up my mind, and I said, all right, this is one of the moments that we need to obviously come in and really talk about this beautiful game of football. And the system is a 4-2-3-1. That is it, as it shows up there on the screen. Now, we start off with the goalkeeper. No doubts about that. He had a very brilliant performance against Liverpool. That is Andre Onana, and he put up a very beautiful show in there for you. He kept a clean sheet. And by the way, if you have to count the number of clean sheets that he has gone ahead to make in the Premier League, there are really many. I remember the first one was against Wolverhampton Wanderers. The second clean sheet he kept, was it against Sheffield? He kept a clean sheet against Burnley. He kept a clean sheet against Luton Town. He kept a clean sheet against Everton. He kept a clean sheet against Liverpool. There is another game. Let me see. Premier League. Clean sheets. 2023-2024. And Onana has kept 6 clean sheets. And he's joint top with Jordan Pickford of Everton, showing you that he is really matching the levels and is really putting in an effort. And I really think he's going to be one of the people to compete for the Golden Glove. So I put him in goal, no doubt. Dalot is out of this game, so I welcome back Aaron Wan-Bissaka to play as the right back for the club of Man United. And I think we'll close that line very, very well. Left back, I go for none other than Luke Shaw. That is it. I go for Luke Shaw to play as the left back for the club of Manchester United, and I really anticipate he's obviously going to be having a very good game. Central defense, right-sided centre back, I put Johnny Evans. Having gone ahead to put up a very wonderful display against Liverpool, if you are the manager, you reward him because of his beautiful performances. Then on the left side of the central defense, I really put Rafael Varane in there for you. They really had a very fantastic combination. They complemented each other very well against Liverpool, and I know if they bring back the same combination and performances and command from Rafael Varane, obviously we will really get going, because everyone in that back five respects Rafael Varane. Let it be Andre Onana, Luke Shaw. He's the most experienced, and he's going to hit lift more trophies than any of those. He has a World Cup. After having a World Cup, I think he has like 4 or 5 Champions League trophies. So how can you really downplay the efforts of such a guy who's going to hit obviously put in effort after effort? So that would be my back five. Now, in the double pivot, I want Amrabat to start, and I know he's obviously going to start. Amrabat is going to start in that double pivot alongside who? I don't want to see Erik ten Hag really start Scott McTominay in this game. I would go Kobbie Mainoo and Amrabat in the double pivot. And you saw it against Liverpool, that it was a blessing disguise for us not be having Bruno Fernandes. I tell you this, and I said it when I saw that he's going to miss the game of Liverpool. Because if if he was available, Ten Hag would have gone ahead to go for a double pivot of Amrabat and Bruno Fernandes and Scott McTominay to play ahead of them. Now, if you're really a very realistic fan of Man United, do you think Bruno Fernandes would have gone ahead to put in the work that Kobe Mainoo put on at Anfield? He wouldn't. So to me, I would play Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo in that double pivot. Then ahead of them, I would like to play Bruno Fernandes ahead of them. I don't want to see Erik ten Hag really try to show us that we are limited in that position. Yet we are having very many players that can really play into that position. Mason Mount can, Bruno Fernandes can, Kobe Mainoo can, Eriksson can. You get? So, how do we play Scott McTominay, a player whose talent is limited and cannot help us when you're really doing the progressive play ahead of a double pivot of Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo, all Amrabat, and Eriksson, all Amrabat, and Bruno Fernandes? That is really uncalled for. And that's why I want Casemiro back. I want Eriksson back. I really want to see how this manager is going to behave, because I'm not okay with seeing Scott McTominay playing ahead of Bruno Fernandes. You know, that is really insane. He is the best number 10 that we have, and the manager needs to be playing him in his best position. Then we go to the right attacking side of the midfield. Rashford is back. Pelestri is available. Amad Diallo is back. But I go with Anthony. Trust me, looks like the return of Amad Diallo is going to hit to awaken Anthony. You know, sometimes you look at your fellow player training and really get to know that if he gets a chance to really showcase his goods, then my position is in danger. And Anthony, for the previous 3-4 games, he has gone ahead to put up a show. He's really performing very well and was one of the best performing players away at Anfield. He tracked back very well and he obviously put in an effort. And I think one of the best chances we got of Rasmus Højlund, it was engineered by him. He really found out a line break. He really found out a central axis pass to Scott McTominay, and then Scott McTominay did a one-touch pass to release Erling Haaland, to release Rasmus Højlund, though Rasmus Højlund failed to obviously convert that on 2 occasions. And left side, I go Garnacho. Alejandro Garnacho is the man I go with to play as a left attacking midfielder for the club of Man United. I believe Rashford needs to be on the bench. He needs to warm up that bench until when he comes in, come off the bench and start producing results. You know, sometimes it's really required in your career to obviously pull off the bench. I've seen the likes of Ruben Diaz at Man City. I've seen the likes of Kevin De Bruyne being played off the bench when they're not really producing results, you know. And the managers tend to do this to obviously wake you up that, please, that is a kick in the ass for you to obviously go ahead and obviously remember your job and don't forget what you're supposed to be doing. So that is Garnacho for you. Though he never had a very beautiful game against Liverpool, but you all know that if at all you're not going to really have majority of the ball, you have to rely on to what we call hitting the teams on the break. And I think he got like 2 chances, and one that was really great, it was Trent Alexander-Arnold who came to the rescue of Liverpool, right? He poked his front boot into the ball before Garnacho really went ahead to shoot it. So, but I think I start him against West Ham, such that I really have a very good field, a beautiful bench. Leading the line, I go with Rasmus Højlund. Guys, I just can't wait the day this guy is going to score his first Premier League goal. And in my country, I was watching a certain media outlet, and they are trying to really call him a flop. And I ask myself, not scoring goals does not mean that you're a flop. Look at Bobby Fabinho at Liverpool. He was not scoring very many goals this season, but his impact was felt on the field of play. I think Rasmus Højlund hasn't scored any goal in the Premier League, but trust me, his impact is being felt on the field of play. So that is my predicted starting 11. I don't know who do you get out, who do you add on to that, but all I can confirm to you is that is my predicted starting 11. And I 100% believe if we really find ourselves fielded that way, there is no way we aren't gonna be stopped by that side of West Ham. That is it. There is no way we're gonna be stopped. Let's go into what we call the match, the head-to-head statistics that you guys really need to know about this game of football. Firstly, West Ham won their most recent Premier League meeting with Man United in May, last beating the Reds in consecutive games in a run of 3 between December 2006 and December 2007. So they are chasing for a run to beat us on a 3 good run, you know. Secondly, Man United have won just 2 of their last 6 away Premier League games against West Ham United, 1 draw and 3 losses, both under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in 2020, 2021 and 2020-2021 campaign. So United have just gone ahead to win 2. So, and we won them under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So we need to raise up our stockings and see to it that we really get going. Thirdly, Manchester United have won just 2 of their last 12 Premier League games in London. We're performing badly, 3 draws and 7 losses, with both of those victories coming against Fulham in 2002 and November this season. So the only London team we've gone ahead to beat is Fulham, meaning that we need to obviously show our worth again and really beat this side. And if we don't really beat them, I don't know why, because we have all what it takes to beat them. That is it. We can obviously get a result, according to me, from that side. Then we go to the 4th head-to-head start. Since David Moyes returned to West Ham in 2019-2020 campaign, the Hammers have won just 3 of their 31 Premier League games against sides to finish in the top 4 the previous season. They've never kept a clean sheet in these 31 games, with all 3 victories coming by a 3-2 scoreline. So it looks like when a team finishes ahead in the top 4, the next season, it's hard for West Ham to obviously beat them at their ground. And lastly, only Sheffield United and Luton Town have faced more shots in the Premier League this season than both West Ham and Man United, 271 each. Since 2003-2004, it is Man United's most shots faced per game in campaign. We're averaging 15.9. Those are 16 shots per game, while it is West Ham highest average since 2013-2014, 17.8. So those are things that we should obviously try to really change at the club of Manchester United. And hereby, I come in to tell you my prediction. 2-1 win for the club of Manchester United. That is it. I see a 2-1 win painted onto this game. That is it. Especially if Ten Hag goes in with that lineup. So guys, your thoughts onto the Man United fixture against West Ham are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about this result? And hope you guys are really going to come in through and really tell me who do you really see scoring for the club of Man United. And we have some players to look at. Lucas Paqueta, Kudus Muhammad is really on fire. We should find means of obviously stopping him. And Gerard Bowen, you know, I think Edson Alvarez is going to meet his former manager at Ajax, and it's going to be one of those. But we should capitalize so much onto the very big mistakes that Kurt Zouma makes and Ogbonna, right? We should obviously find ourselves doing the needful. But I think Kurt Zouma is going to play with Agard, and we should really use that side. So we'll wait and see how that pans out. But that's what I had for you today here onto the United Matters channel. That is my match preview, West Ham versus Man United. And all is back to you. What's your prediction? Who do you want to start? And do you see us winning? Yes or no in the comment section below. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, my mates. The Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum, and may the living to God bless you abundantly. Bye-bye.